Hey guys, Jennifer here with the Family Fudge, and in today's video I'm going to be answering some frequently asked questions and assumptions that I get all the time. I got a lot of questions about my Bunches of Lunches series, about my work as a YouTube mom, lots of questions about the kids and Florida and Disney and what we're doing about their schooling, so I'm going to be talking about all of those and more. I want to say a big thank you to all of you on Instagram who sent in your questions. Okay guys, so first up I'm going to be answering questions and assumptions that all relate to the YouTube channel itself. I know we are going into our 4th year here on YouTube, so the purpose and the types of videos that we've shared here definitely have evolved over the years. And I don't always do the best job at explaining what my purpose is. So you guys, as of right now, this is definitely not a vlogging channel. I don't share every aspect of our lives or every detail of our lives. And I think that's really why I get so many questions and assumptions, because I'm not constantly sharing that information. The videos that I like to make these days belong in the edutainment category. And basically that just means in every video I'm trying to not only share an idea, like how to make a lunch or a recipe, but I'm trying to show it in a fun and exciting and entertaining way. In my life, I really try to focus on things that are fun and colorful and exciting and things that I can do with my family. So that's what I'm trying to capture through this channel. So that brings me to question number 1, and that is, what made you want to start a YouTube channel? Basically, long ago, when I first started having kids, I started a blog. And on this blog, I would post about different activities I was doing with my kids and different recipes that I was making and things like that. Now, around the same time, I had a friend named Christine who I grew up with, and we went to the same church. She also had a blog where she shared the activities and things that she was doing with her kids. But then she took her blog and turned it into a YouTube channel, and now they are known as the Family Fun Pack. You guys have probably heard of them. They have almost 10 million subscribers, and it's just like their channel blew up. So I watched their process of going from a blog to a YouTube channel, and I saw that it could become a really good stay-at-home mom job. And of course, what they were doing on their channel looked so easy, I thought I could do that too. But come to find out, actually having a YouTube channel and making videos was not actually very easy. I thought I could just follow my kids around and record the activities that we were doing, and just like that I would have a YouTube video, but there's actually a lot more work that goes into it, especially if you want to have a successful channel. So for the first year of the YouTube channel, I made a lot of content very similar to Family Fun Pack, and I quickly learned that that was just not my passion. My kids were not really into it. So instead, I started sharing content that would appeal more towards moms just like me, who had little kids, who were staying at home, and they were just trying to figure it all out. Around this time, one of the channels that really inspired me was the channel She's in Her Apron. If you guys have not checked out Kimmy's channel, I will link it down below. But I was just really inspired by how she shared everyday mom life. She gave a lot of encouragement to me, and I wanted to make videos just like that as well. So around this time, I started sharing more and more recipes, because as a mom, that's what I was doing most of my days, cooking food. Now, after I'd spent about a year making this type of content, I got more and more requests to show lunch recipes. So Bunches of Lunches was totally born out of my subscribers requesting that I show lunch ideas. And of course, nowadays the lunch videos on my channel are some of the highest watched videos of all, so I've really kind of narrowed down and started focusing on those. So I know that was kind of a long answer to that one question, but I hope it kind of gives you an idea of how it started and how it has evolved over the years. And that's really the key to being on YouTube. You kind of have to adapt and change. So this next question is more about the process of making a video. The question is, do you talk while making your videos, or is it a voiceover? If voiceover, what do you use? So yes, almost all of my videos are a voiceover these days because number one, I always have kids home with me and they tend to be loud. So instead of shushing them while I'm trying to film, I just do my voiceover after they go to bed. So it works out better for everyone that way. And if I can find a link to the microphone that I use, I will link it down below. Okay guys, so next up I'm going to be answering some questions and assumptions about lunches. Of course, you guys know I love lunches and it's a big part of this channel. I've gotten a lot of questions about how I started bunches of lunches, where my inspiration comes from, and what the deal is with the lunches. And really, when it comes down to it, a lot of my life experience and my work history has really prepared me for making these fun lunches. The first thing being, when I was about 16 to 20 years old, I spent a lot of time visiting and living in Japan. Of course, Japan is a country known for their super cute bento boxes. And that's definitely where I first learned and fell in love with the art. The last job that I had right before I had kids was probably the most significant. And that's the time I spent at Edible Arrangements. You know, recently I got a comment that was very negative about my lunches and how cutting fruits and vegetables into cute little shapes is not very realistic. But what these people didn't know about me is that when I worked at Edible Arrangements, cutting fruits and vegetables into fun little shapes and decorations, that was like my job, and that's what I did every day, and I loved it. And I'm using a lot of those techniques in the lunches that I make these days. So cutting all the fun veggies and fruit is just a normal thing to me. So yes, a lot of different things have contributed into how I make these lunches and why and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna try to answer these next questions a little bit faster. This one says, is it stressful to make lunches for your kids every day? And my answer is sometimes, but that's only if I haven't given myself enough time to make the lunch. But there are definitely things that I do to make it less stressful. And that brings me to my next question, and that is, how do you have so much time in the morning to make all the lunches? So basically, I don't always make all the lunch items in the morning. If it's something that I know is going to take longer, I will start the night before. And before I start putting together any lunch, it's already pre-planned out. Which brings me to several other questions that are very similar. And these questions are basically, how long does it take you to come up with these lunch ideas? So what I like to do usually on the weekends is I'll actually sit down and plan out all the lunches for the week. I have a menu for my kids to choose from that helps make it a lot faster. And I actually have some planning sheets where I will write down each item in the lunch, how I plan to prepare it, and I also use several different Lunchbox templates that I've made for myself. That way I can actually pre-plan where in the lunchbox I'm going to put each item. That means in the morning when it's time to actually make the lunch, I already know what I'm going to make and I already know what it's going to look like, and that means it doesn't take as long. Now, would I do all this stuff if I wasn't filming the lunch? Probably not. But since Bunches of Lunches has become a regular video for me and it's become a brand, I take these extra steps to make sure that my videos and that my lunches turn out well. Which brings me to the next question. How long does it take you to prepare lunches when you're not filming? Probably 10 minutes. Filming makes everything take so much longer because I have one camera that's getting a down shot angle, and then I have another camera that is filming from the side, so I can switch back and forth between the angles. I just think it looks more professional that way. So moving the cameras around, moving the lighting around, that definitely makes filming take a lot longer. Next up, I have a really good question. It is, do you ever make lunches where no one actually tries it? And you guys, the answer to that is yes. But that doesn't happen very often, and it only happens for a subscriber lunch. On Saturday's video, I show all of the lunches my kids had for the week, but on Sunday, I show subscriber lunches. So that's when I make recipes I wouldn't normally make. I try new recipes and different lunch ideas from all over the country and around the world. So occasionally I'll make a lunch that has something like fish, or something will be super spicy that the kids won't want to try, and that's totally fine because either my husband will eat it or I will eat it and it doesn't go to waste. This next question is, where do you get the lunch boxes? And I would say 99% of my lunch boxes are from Amazon. Usually around Cyber Monday you can find some really good deals on lunch boxes. But some of my lunch boxes do come from Target, and those are just like the Ziploc brand, which I do like and are a really good, cheaper option. Now this next question I got in several different ways, but basically it's how do you come up with the lunch ideas? So usually what I try to do is I think seasonally when I'm planning lunches. So if it's really cold outside, I'll think hot lunches. If it's around Christmas time or a holiday, I'll try to focus on those. I try to remember foods that I enjoyed as a kid. I really try not to look at other lunch videos or on Pinterest because I don't really want to be influenced by ideas that are already out there. So I try to come up with original ideas as much as I can. Another thing that really helps plan cute lunches is to find cute accessories. Things like sandwich cutters and food picks and napkins. I get a lot of inspiration from those things when it comes to planning lunches. Now, when it comes to lunches, these next two questions are examples of some I get quite often, and they honestly kind of bother me. And they go something like this. Why are all of your lunches unhealthy? Or why do your kids eat so many treats and snacks? And you guys, the reason these questions bother me is because the term healthy is really very personal and subjective. What seems healthy to one person will be totally different to what seems healthy for someone else. So when I'm trying to put these lunches together, I'm trying to show a wide variety that will appeal to different types of people. Now you guys, I am not a dietitian or a nutritionist, but when I'm putting together these lunches, they almost always include a fruit, a vegetable, a protein, a grain, and I try to keep them as balanced as I can. But I'm also keeping in mind that most parents that are making lunches for their kids don't have time to make everything from scratch, and that is fine. When it comes down to it, you guys, I am against food shaming. I feel like each person just needs to do what's right for their family and make the best lunch decisions that they can. So if you want to make a lunch that is completely sugar-free and unprocessed, that is great. But if you only have the ability or time to make a lunch full of chicken nuggets or mac and cheese, that is fine too. Everybody just has to do what's best for their situation. And then especially when it comes to the subscriber lunches, I know a lot of times those can seem like a lot of snacks and treats, but you guys have to keep in mind that those, when I make those lunches, it's somebody else who's picked out that lunch. I'm making somebody else's lunch idea, so it might not necessarily be what I would choose, but also when I'm making that lunch, I'm only making one of them. So it's not like all of my kids are getting all these snacks and treats all the time. It really doesn't work like that. I get that question a lot about the Good to Grow bottles and the juice bottles as well. Now, of course, I love the juice bottles. I think they are super cute with all of the characters on top, but no, my kids don't get them in every lunch. They only have them on a very rare occasion. Okay guys, so it's time to talk about school. I get this question multiple times, like every day, and that's because I really haven't said much about it in a while, and that's pretty much because of safety reasons. I think it can be kind of dangerous to let people on the internet know exactly where your kids are and what school they go to, so I made sure not to share that information. Now, in the past, we've actually tried lots of different things for the kids. They have been homeschooled, they were in a co-op for a while, they have done a charter school, and they've done a public homeschool charter, so lots of different things. But since we've moved to Florida, we really wanted to give straight public school a shot. But we're actually about to change that, and we're going to be changing it pretty soon. I'm talking like right after spring break. We're going to be switching to a hybrid homeschool setup, which is actually kind of a popular thing here in Florida. It's very similar to the homeschool charter that we were in California. And basically that means that the kids have a more flexible school schedule. They can do their work at home like a regular homeschooler, but they also have the opportunity to attend public school 1, 2, or 3 times a week. Now, this is actually really exciting for us because this is definitely going to open up a lot of time and opportunity for us to travel to other educational places that I've been hoping to take the kids. There are so many field trips available to homeschoolers that I'm looking forward to, and it really seems like nowadays more and more YouTube families are choosing to homeschool. So if you watch Family Fun Pack or Ohana Adventure or Shot of the Jaegers or J House Vlogs, they are all now homeschooling families, and it just seems to fit really well with this kind of weird work schedule and the opportunities that we have as YouTubers. So now we're moving on to the family category. And the top question that I got quite a lot is whether or not I plan on having more kids. Right now we have 4 kids. Mackenzie is 10, Jackson is 8, Lily is 6, and Griffin is 4. So as of right now, my answer is no. I don't plan on having any more kids. I feel totally blessed and fulfilled with the 4 that I have. Next, are the kids interested in starting their own Bunches of Lunches series? I would say Mackenzie, yes. She would definitely take over Bunches of Lunches for me tomorrow if she could. She's actually really interested in it. She helps me plan out a lot of the lunches, and she would probably do a really good job. Next up, I'm going to be answering some Disney questions. You guys know I love Disney, and to be closer to Disney World is one of the reasons that we chose Florida. A question I got quite a lot is whether I prefer Disneyland or Disney World. And this is actually a really tough question, but I'd have to say that I actually prefer Disneyland. And that's probably because Disneyland and Disney California Adventure are right across from each other. It's very easy to go from one to the other, and they are both surrounded by hotels that are in walking distance. So it's really easy to go back and forth between the parks and your hotel. It's very convenient. Now at Disney World, everything is so big and so spread out that it takes a long time to get anywhere, which is not necessarily a huge problem, but it is a difference. On the flip side, however, Disney World has several attractions that Disneyland does not have, such as all the rides in Pandora, the animals of Animal Kingdom, and of course I love all of the different countries in Epcot. So it's a really hard decision. They're both great. This next question I get quite a lot, and it asks, how do you guys get to go to Disney almost every day? Do you pay full price to enter? And the answer is we don't go every day, usually between 1 to 3 times a week. And what we'll usually do is right when the kids are done at school, we'll head to the parks for just a couple of hours, and then we'll go back home. So it's not like a big long day. And no, we don't pay full price. That would be way too expensive. When you're a Florida resident, you can buy a special Florida resident annual pass, and it's a lot cheaper, which definitely makes it more affordable. And the next question is, why do you guys like Disney so much? Well, for me, Disney feels happy and Disney feels safe, and it brings back memories of my childhood. But honestly, these days, it is my goal to work for Disney. I want to be involved in the Disney social media scene, and it definitely helps to live closer to the park if that is your goal. Time for some favorites. What is your most favorite lunchbox? Right now I am loving the Bent-Go Fresh box. What is your favorite hot lunch to make for your kids? I'd say mac and cheese, because everyone loves mac and cheese. It's super easy. I just buy the Annie's deluxe shells and everybody's happy. Next up, what is your favorite crock pot recipe? Hands down, Mongolian beef. This is definitely not a budget-friendly dinner, but it is really good, and I think I have a video on it. I will link it down below if I can find it. What is your favorite weird food combination? Now, I actually have a video on weird food combinations, and I tried quite a bit of them myself, and I would say Cheetos in milk. It's actually pretty good. What is my favorite meal? I absolutely love an authentic Japanese curry rice. That is so good. what has been your favorite place to live so far? Now, as a family, we've lived in California, we lived in Utah for a very short time, and now we live in Florida. And I'd say Florida is probably the best so far, just because there are so many different things that you can do with your family here. Okay guys, so that is all the answers I'm going to be able to get to today. Thank you guys so much for sending them in to me. Now, truth be told, it took me about 2.5 hours to answer all of these questions, and now my job is to go ahead and edit these down smaller so I can get them on YouTube. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you in my next video.